keep a close track on that and the legislature, and tend to have at least once or twice a week somebody from the legislature to keep a closer. We have to keep a closer eye on these people. Like I said before, there was a time when you could trust politicians, you could trust school boards, or at least generally trust them. You can't, and you can't trust the media either. I hate to say it, but you just can't. We're going to go to somebody else who wants to make sure that you know what's going on, and that would be Darcy Schoening, Moms for Liberty, and I've met Darcy before, actually down at a Lajinas Gonzalez kickoff party for his race for mayor. And Darcy, I didn't know at that time, we were talking about politics and the mayoral race, I didn't know that you were so involved with education and Moms for Liberty, and certainly it got my attention a little while back. You had posted just a bulletin board in a school, and it wasn't a big neon sign or anything. It was fairly small, and I'm sure a lot of people walked past it, parents, and didn't really notice it. But it caught my attention because it reveals exactly what some educators, some teachers, some administration, some boards of education really are doing when they don't have somebody like you or someone else really closely keeping an eye on them, whether it's critical race theory, whether it's pushing an agenda, on gay pride, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, trans. And if you're out there sitting, Richard, Antifa, yeah, there's video out there from California. A couple of members of Antifa in the classroom bragging about how if you give me your kid for 6 weeks, I can indoctrinate him. Darcy, thank you so much for joining us here today. Give us just a little sampling of some of the things that you've seen out there in schools that have come to your attention in the past 3 or 4 months.
Richard, thank you for having me. So I would love to. Just in the last couple months, actually, since the elections, one of the advantages that we've got for Moms for Liberty, with it being a national organization, is just the name behind it and the confidence that moms seem to have in contacting us. So just a small sampling of some of the things that we're seeing. We've got 2 schools right now in El Paso County, where girls under the age of 16 are forced to change in the same locker room, the same vicinity as boys. We've got CRT and SEL in every single district. We've got all kinds of just curriculum that is seeping into these districts that we're really, really working on. Christy Davis is co-chair of Moms for Liberty with me. She's been instrumental in writing some new policies and convincing some of these boards to rid their schools of the damaging SEL and CRT materials. So we have really hit the ground running, and we're really fortunate that people are contacting us with their issues. And as I said, one of the advantages of Moms for Liberty is that it's a national group. So a lot of people ask me, why Moms for Liberty versus some other group? And to be fair, there are some great groups, D20 Advocates, the 11 Achievement Alliance. They're doing some awesome things. But with us being a national group and the media attention that surrounds us, we've found that we're really able to pressure boards and pressure elected officials. They don't want that negative media attention. They don't want that negative national attention. So that's how we're really able to get in there and not only uncover some of the things that are happening, but put pressure on our elected officials to do the right thing for our kids.
Well, and I want to mention that this is not a political thing. Darcy and I are on the same page politically in terms of parties and being conservatives. I don't know we agree on each and everything, but this is something, whether you're a libertarian, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, it seems to me, Darcy Schoening, Moms for Liberty, but the minimum that folks ought to know is what the facts are and what's going on. And I'd submit that whether the people listening here are left or right or somewhere in the middle, they're not really getting that information unless they seek it out. And, these school districts and the teachers, a lot of them, they're going to do what they want to do unless they're held accountable. How do you hold them accountable, Darcy Schoening?
So, as I mentioned, one of the ways that we've really been able to hold them accountable is just through social media attention and through media attention. That nobody wants bad media, especially these conservative boards. And as you mentioned at the beginning of this segment, we've reached a point in society where we can no longer trust our elected officials, even our conservative boards, to do the right thing. So we've got the advantage of the media on our side. Now, that said, we meet with school board members and attorneys from the school districts every single week. Christy, in particular, is meeting with these boards every day and saying, how can I help you? How can I help you rewrite this policy? how can we figure out a solution to this woman who's forced to change next to a boy for high school? So we go around and we try to communicate effectively with these elected officials first, but we're not afraid to use the media, and we're not afraid to expose the bad things that they're doing to our kids if it comes down to it. Because at the end of the day, this is about the kids. It's not about politics. We've got to get progressivism and some of these horrible policies out of the school by whatever means necessary.
We're talking with Darcy Schoening, Moms for Liberty, and I've got a break coming up here. I've got to go to Todd Watkins talking about the border. But Darcy, I got a text message here from somebody who says, I'm with an advocacy group called Advocates for D20 Kids, and they were talking about having you on the program. They're very excited about that because they really respect what you're doing. I'm sure there are a lot of folks out there now who are saying, at long last, we have, a watchdog on the schools. Tell people how they can engage with you, especially on social media, or I understand you've got some meetings and events coming up as well.
Sure, yeah. So find our group on Facebook. It's Moms for Liberty, El Paso County. You can also reach out to me. I'm everywhere on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll get you connected. We do have a meeting tonight at Valley High at 5:30. We have reps Scott Bottoms and Ken DeGraff coming, as well as Gabrielle, a representative from Turning Point. We meet every single month. We are always looking for people to get involved. We just appreciate our parents so much. And so if there's anything, I would like to put this out there, if there's anything that's happening in your schools as well that you see that you have felt powerless about or that you want to get out there, just contact me or contact Moms for Liberty. We want to be that ongoing resource to chip away at these terrible things going on in our schools.
You've got, I want to tell folks, we got a lot of, bumping heads when it comes to Republicans and all these different parties, organizations, et cetera. I want to let you know that, we just heard from Bob Garner, but I reached out to Scott Bottoms, Ken DeGraff. In fact, one of them said couldn't do the show until after 10 o'clock. We're on the same page on this stuff. And then I also reached out, like I said, to Bob Garner. I reached out to Paul Lundeen, Larry Liston. They're on the same page on this thing. And I guess we've got 2 years where we've got to contend with a lot of these Democrats or people in school boards. And we need to focus on the fight and who is the problem right now, in my opinion. And that problem is liberals, progressives, and Democrats to a large extent. Darcy, thank you for joining us. I look forward to talking with you very, very frequently because a lot of these school issues nationally and locally have flown under the radar. And I look back on a lot of things that they were able to get through or get away with in the past couple of years. If they had close scrutiny, and maybe I let down my guard on this, but they had more close scrutiny, I don't know that they would have done that. Darcy, I need to go to a news break here. Look forward to talking with you. Why don't we do this again next week and give us another update?
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Richard, and thanks for all you're doing to help all of us.
You got